in. In. There it is. Put a light bulb in that thing. Beautiful source of light. All right. And come in over here. Up. Open up. Still in. Okay.
This call may be recorded or transcribed.
And we are 2 minutes away from the broadcast starting. And we're giving people a chance to come into the room. Thank you for joining us here on Discoveries in Health Discussions, where we discuss natural remedies. We don't prescribe, we don't diagnose. We simply talk about natural remedies. What does science know about them? And we describe various reports. And today we will be talking about respiratory infections. Wow, that covers a lot because respiratory infections are the flu and all kinds of other things like COPD. And people are coming and going in and out of the room. We're going to talk about respiratory infections today. And there are a lot of respiratory infections. Omicron, that's Omicron. That's one of the respiratory infections that you can get. We're going to talk about respiratory infections, as that is what someone said they wanted us to talk about today. Welcome to Discoveries in Health. This is Bishop Dr. Truman Berst from Good Shepherd Ministries. And I've been helping people with natural remedies, helping them to understand about natural remedies. I warned people 60 years ago about these flu bugs, these bacteria, these funguses and viruses. So I've already been discussing this for over 60 years on radio, television, shortwave, public appearances. Yes, for over 60 years, I've been telling you about these funguses and bacterias and viruses, and that they're getting worse, and that there's less and less that mankind can do about it. But over the 60 years, I have found that nature can do a lot to comfort and heal humanity. Now, this is villainized by the federal government and the medical, the AMA, the allopathic medicine, the drug dealers, the pharmaceutical industry. They vilify natural remedies because natural remedies is their competition. They are in the keep you sick and give you another drug and go for another test business. And business is booming. Maybe that's why the federal government, US Navy, Walt Disney, all bought stock in these drug remedies for the flu. And then that's why they want everybody to get stabbed and jabbed, because they own stock. in the drug companies. Federal government does. In multiply, many agencies of the federal government owns stock in the jab. Follow the money. It's about control, and the control is about how to get more money out of people. Force you to take the jab. It's a mandate. It was sad to hear recently, I heard that ex-president got a booster shot. That Trump got a booster shot, which leads me to two possibilities in my mind. That either he's all behind this druggist to death scenario, or he has to say that because if he doesn't, he will never get back in office, because that's too big of a powerful group of people who want everybody to get the jab because they own stock in everybody getting the jab. See, these are things that I wonder, these are things I wonder, is this true? Could that possibly be? Would politicians stoop that low to take money from people? Oh, well, I'll leave that for thought for later in the agenda. But all of this stress leads to illness. People are so stressed out, and they're so very, very tired of being shoved and pushed into getting a jab that they don't want. There's a lot of concern going on about what's going on. And this concern causes illness. The very cost of food being higher now than it's more expensive due to inflation. Those kinds of things are very concerning. The people are barely able to put food on the table, and especially if they have a large family. And now it gets harder and harder. So these things amount to agitating and keeping people worried and sick. And so if you wonder why everybody's always so sick lately, well, number one, that's the agenda. The drug companies are not in the business to heal people. They're in the business to sell more drugs and raise the prices to where so many people can't even afford the drugs they need. They're way too expensive. And yet there is a list of natural remedies, health food that is being put together for the FDA to begin condemning everything from vitamin C to anything they want. And that's what they do. They condemn it. They say it's not safe and that it has to be under their control so that they can control it like it is, as though it's a drug when it's really a food. But they blurred the lines so much that they call food drugs, and they call everything a drug now. We have a renegade rogue agency called the FDA. that as a federal agency, and federal agencies don't do well. They got too many politicians dipping their fingers into the pie for all kinds of reasons. We have too many foreign governments that have people in high places. We got a lot of things that are very, very wrong that need to be fixed. The politicians keep it in chaos. So you're so worried about their next orders, that things that you and your family and your children and the schools must do because they say so. This is to keep you agitated while they're stealing the money. You know it, I know it. They're not even hiding it. Anyway, these things keep people ill. These are the kinds of things that misinformation, that drugs are good for you and health food is bad for you. That's misinformation. And that's been the banner. And then you got this, you got people, politicians that have been insane against natural remedies and natural foods, like Dick Durbin. That guy has been around so long, he must be the Walking Dead. Certainly, you know, and he's always carried one banner: destroy health food, make your health food less available, create more rules for the drug industry to control you and take your health food away from you. That's so. We've got really some bad apples in the mix, and a lot of things that are disturbing. But at the same time, we can't just dwell upon that, because the answer is your faith in Jesus Christ and your will to continue to praise and worship the Most High God in the name of Jesus Christ, Yeshua, our Savior. That's the bottom line. So I'm going to keep my eye on my faith, and I will not be shaken. All praises to the Most High. Let's get over to Prophet Elijah, I want to make sure before I get over there, his telephone number is 334-868-3881, if I'm not mistaken. And Prophet Elijah, is that the right number?
Yes, that's the correct number.
Well, I got it right out of memory. That's the good news. I know that you're contagiously blessed, because I'm contagiously blessed because I know you.
Oh, yes, I am, without a doubt.
Okay. And so I was talking about things that I'm concerned with and so forth, as I normally do, and as I open up the broadcast. We've given out a Prophet Elijah's a telephone number, and he's going to give us an opening prayer here in a moment, but I do want to give you my telephone number, which is 503-362-5899. That's 503-362-5899. My email address is the same as the herbalhealthreview.com website. herbalhealthreview.com with my name in front of it. In other words, it's Truman, Truman, at herbalhealthreview.com. And that's how to email me. I'm glad to answer questions. I'm glad to help. Call me up. That's the number. The number to call me right now on this broadcast to join us, to ask questions, to suggest what we talk about. The telephone number is 503-606-6064. 503-606-6064. That's the number to join this broadcast. In case you happen to be on Zoom or YouTube, that's the dial-in number in case you would like to suggest what we talk about, or you have a comment or a suggestion. Now, all of that being said, Prophet Elijah, could you please give us an opening prayer, sir?
Sure. Isaiah 54:16. Behold, I have created the smith who blows on the fire of coals, and who produces a weapon for his purpose. And I have created the devastator to destroy. Most High, receive Dr. Berst and our Prophet Elijah's prayer for the brothers and sisters who took the liberty and time to be here. Our defense is of you, Father, who saves the upright in heart. Father, you allow us to rule everything your hands have made. You put all of it under our power. Your name is wonderful everywhere, and on this earth, including Discoveries in Health, Good Shepherd Ministries, Better Health Earth, and Word of Life Ministries. We will sing praises to you and declare your doings among the people. You have pulled us back from the gates of death. We declare, hallelujah. On every corner, we will hold a street meeting. We will fill the air with songs of salvation. Put them in fear, Most High, that the nations may know themselves to be but men. Arise, Most High. Lift up your hand. Do not forget the humble, those who are broken spirit and a contrite heart. Cause the wicked to perish. Keep and guard us as the pupil of your eye. Hide us in the shadow of your wing. In the day of trouble, you have promised to light our lamp and to enlighten our darkness. Because of your power in us, we can advance against our enemies and scale the walls intended to keep us out. So be it.
So be it. All praises to the Most High. Thank you very much, Prophet Elijah. And folks, I want to also remind you that at the end of the broadcast, if you have to come, if you have to leave, be sure and come back, because there will be a closing prayer always from Prophet Elijah at the end of every broadcast. We always look forward to that. I want to remind you that that's going to happen. And by the way, my dear brother, Prophet Elijah, what's on your mind today, sir?
Well, after listening to what you had talked about earlier about the situation concerning the government and all they are doing, I'm talking today about what we can do on the other end. So we're talking about your words has power to succeed or fail, but you have to change your language. The language you've been using is according to this system of government, but the Father gave us a new system that are not attached to this system. So I tell you, on the day of judgment, men will have to give account for every idle, inoperative, non-working word they speak. That's why it's so important what you say. You got to listen to what you say. So we talked briefly about the brain last week. Together, let's close out this year by asking the Most High God to give us our new brain cells, In Mark 9:23, Jesus said, if you can believe, all things are possible to them that believe. Don't give the government any room, because you can bind and loose it at any time. It's time to change your mindset and renew your thoughts and ways of thinking. If you can renew your mind and thoughts, you can change your world about your health and the sickness and disease that does not belong to you. It belongs to Satan, who comes to kill, steal, and to destroy. That's all they are thinking about, how they can destroy us, but yet they can't destroy us. Because we have the power on the inside of us. Thoughts become reality. Lack attracts lack. It is now time to master our spoken words and redirect our life. Master our eternal thoughts and direct our destiny. Changing our words consciously will change our entire attitude. We will see miraculous results in any depression, stress, anxiety that anyone attempt to put up on us, and illness, with amazing health results just by switching the words that are spoken. Be aware of our language will transform our life in unexpected ways. It will show us where we need to be healed. Learn that any unpleasant thought we have comes with a corresponding unpleasant desire. As we consciously begin to change our thoughts, we will become more loving, accepting, and compassionate toward ourselves and others, our sisters and brothers. The first step to a successful lifestyle transformation is becoming aware of how often non-supportive words are used in day-to-day speech. Change is not easy, but necessary. Focusing on the negative causes us to get more of the same. It becomes a tumbleweed, getting bigger and stronger with every negative thought, action, or word. Our words will set us free from every form of bondage. No man can keep you in bondage but yourself. The very words we speak and think are our personal vehicle on our journey to happiness. They program both our destination and the speed with which we get there. Words change our DNA sequences by recreating our future and creating a quantum possibility that allow us to take control of our destiny. Words and thoughts shape our very character. All the knowledge, love, success, prosperity, health, and happiness that we deserve are already ours, just waiting for us to use the correct words to connect with them. A man's moral self shall be filled with the fruit of his mouth, and with the consequences of his word, we must be satisfied, whether good or evil. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they who indulge in it shall eat the fruit of it for death of life. That's Proverbs 12, chapter 18, verse 20-21. You may be asking yourself this question right now. Why is Prophet Elijah speaking on the subject about words again? We have heard about the topic several times. Well, the answer to the question is faith comes by hearing the word over and over again. Selah, think about that. It's time for you, and it's time for a spring cleaning of our language. The mind of the wise instructs its mouth, adds learning and persuasiveness to its lips. Pleasant words are as a honeycomb, sweet to the mind, healing to the body. By clearing energy words from our thoughts and language and switching to high energy words, we experience a continuous sense of inner peace and trust, even when things are not going as well as we would like. Low energy words accompany low energy thoughts and emotions. Usually these are unconscious, meaning that we are unaware of them. That's coming from the devil to keep you unaware, having free rent space in your head and using you as a person to do his work. Most of us have some degree of low energy self-talk, such as, I quote, I am a diabetic. It runs in the family. To that I say, it has run its last race. It stops with me. My mother had this disease. Had this disease, so I guess it runs in the family. To that, I say it stopped when I came along. I am in divine health. I don't deserve to be happy or rich. To that, I say riches and divine substance are my birthright. This low energy spills over into the communication with others. High energy words, on the other hand, accompany high energy thoughts. Unlike low energy words, we can practice using high energy words until our thoughts and emotions adjust in kind. Then our life becomes quite simple and profoundly a positive high energy experience. Give life to our words, and our words will bring life, love, joy, hope, and success to us. We have the knowledge and wisdom of eternity in every cell of our body. Decision making is all about correcting outdated thoughts and changing our mind. It is our conscious mind that makes choices and decisions. Inner change happens at the unconscious level and is instantaneous. We hear people say that it took them a year to give up smoking. It might have taken a year to make the decision to change the habit. However, it took less than a second to actually stop. Ponder on that. It took less than a second to start. In reality, the individual had a made-up mind to quit. The subconscious went to work to bring into reality or manifest what the person was thinking about doing. Many are instructed by the Holy Spirit to give up certain vices suddenly. Our mind-body connection as such a powerful survival mechanism that our muscles react instantly to truth and untruth, to what is good for us and what is not good for us, such as our food choices that are destroying us consciously. The unconscious mind, which is where these answers come from, knows much better than our conscious mind. The Most High God designed it that way. It is along with every one of the 50 to 100 trillion cells in our bodies. It's eagerly listening to our instructions right this moment, just like the angels standing by on assignment, waiting for us to give voice to the Most High God's word. Anything and everything that is not working well for us can be changed. I say again, anything and everything that is not working well for us can be changed. We have all of the answers where? On the inside our mind. We have a solution to every one of our questions because our inner mind is programmed to search for wholeness and well-being. Pay particular attention to our thoughts, beginning with changing every word we speak so that our thought, language, and intent become crystal clear and our body will respond to it. Happy changing. What you perceive is what you believe. How you perceive is what you will achieve. The words you think or say then form a picture, desire, or symbol in your unconscious mind. The language of the unconscious mind is nonverbal, which goes off to search for and bring you whatever you focus on. The unconscious mind does not know where you are joking or lying or speaking truth. It never sleeps. It's always on standby, ready to give you what you are asking or speaking, negative or positive. It believes you and goes into action. In the book of Psalms, chapter 139, verse 2, it says that the Most High perceives every movement of our heart and soul, and he knows and recognizes every thought before it even enters your mind. Now that's awesome. Positive words, positive decisions. Did you know that being happy adds 9 years to your life? It has been scientifically proven that low energy thoughts, low immune system, and make people more illness prone. The joyful, cheerful heart brings healing to both body and soul. But the one whose heart is crushed struggles with sickness and depression. A person with the strongest activity in the left parental cortex of the brain are the happy thought people and had a much stronger immune system and produced many more antibiotics in response to a vaccine. This means that by focusing your language on the word good, you will get twice as many results in your life as when you focus on the word bad or sad. The really good news is that our energy words seem to exhibit a field of dominance over low energy words, which is why we should revert to being optimistic in much as possible whenever possible. How do you bring your inner thoughts and outer world into alignment? The first step is to change your internal and external speech pattern. Let's begin to transform our thinking and language pattern. The power of our clear decision and words. I'm sick, instead say, I received healing. I forgot, instead say, I did not remember. I've been working hard, instead say, I've been working well. Speak in the now as though it already happened, and be realistic so that the conscious and subconscious believe that it is possible. Lastly, there are only two kinds of thoughts: thoughts that power you and thoughts that don't. The thoughts that think and emotions that you think about, those thoughts that you may be thinking energetically magnetize and attract the people, things, circumstances, and outcomes that you experience. What we think about is in our minds become our physical and emotional reality. So turn the page. Let's go into 2022 by beginning to speak a new language, circumcising those negative words with positive words. You might say, how do we do that? By binding and loosing them. Bind what you don't want and loose what you do want. Practice and make it a habit that will catapult you into your future destiny of divine substance and divine health. The set time is now. It is not now, it's never. So be it, Dr. Berst.
Wow, so be it. What a wonderful, wise message that you just put forth. Thank you. Thank you very much. That needed to be said. It's so easy for us to be negative when it's so important for us to be positive.
Yes, but the enemy come in and put words in your mind for you to say it, so it can keep you in stress and sickness at all times. Exactly what I was saying. That just the rhetoric that's coming from the media is constant gloom and doom and woe is everybody. It's gossip. They want to talk about gossip and gloom and doom. It's negative oratory. And it's counterproductive. But this system that we're in, is operated to keep everybody under stress. Exactly. And when they're under stress, yes. by people being under stress, now it's helping them. That box is being filled because you're going to get some type of drug or something to get rid of the stress, and you continue to put more stress on you, compound it daily. Yes, exactly. Yes, that's the modus operandi. That's it. That's how they operate. But again, we're keeping our eye on being positive. We're putting out positive things, and we're aware. And that's the key thing. You see, our people perish for lack of knowledge. We always get back to that. And that's the way they want it. They not only do our people perish for lack of knowledge, they're perishing from misknowledge, So, but anyway, a wonderful message, positive message, and that's where we need to stay with it and stay positive and keep making those affirmations. Surround ourselves with positive people who are also doing the same. It's really hard to be up
when you surround yourself with somebody and people who are, constantly being negative. You need that. We need positive support. What do you think?
Yes, because when you're around a lot of negative people, the scripture tells you you have to come from among them if they don't want to listen to what you are saying, which you know is coming directly from the Father for you to share with them. You cause them to want to change from the way they're thinking and the way they're talking. So the Father said, if they don't listen, then you speak the word and then you come from among them.
All praises to the Most High. Well, so folks, again, please join us at the end of the broadcast for a closing prayer. And unless you have any further comment, maybe now is a good time. We should ask anyone if they have a question, a topic, something that they want us to teach about today, what they want to learn about. All they need to do is press the star key 2 times on their telephone. And are we ready to do that?
Yes, we're ready.
We're ready. Okay. All right, folks. That means press your start key on your telephone 2 times. That'll open your microphone. Then you can suggest what it is that we teach here today. Otherwise, I have a topic that has been suggested, and it's all about respiratory infection. And there's a lot of that going on. So that's a very good topic for us to address. So it looks like I don't see any microphones coming open. Again, over there in the nice folks that are viewing us on Zoom and on YouTube, if you would also like to join the broadcast over the telephone, the phone number to dial is 503-606-6064. 503-606-6064 is the number to dial in to talk to us here on this broadcast. Now, that being said, and another drink of water, and we're going to talk about lungs, respiratory problems. And I'm on my way. There is, let's get back over here. Let's go to common conditions. And and I'm on the website, herbalhealthreview.com. And now that I'm on that website, herbalhealthreview.com, and you can be a member and you can enjoy that website and all the reports and all the videos and the free herbal, everything on it is free, except one thing, and that is a membership. That would be 2 things. A membership isn't free. So if you want to be a member and support us so I can do all this research and keep this everything going and pay for everything, well, then I need donations because I don't get anything from the sale of any product. We don't have sponsors here. This is a broadcast that is beholding to Jesus Christ only. That's it. That's who we're beholding to. That's our sponsor. But we need donations to grow, to help more people, to be able to do better, faster work. I could use an assistant. I've been doing this for 60 years without an assistant. Still don't have an assistant. Every year I think, man, somebody's gonna be my assistant. Things happen, but that don't. And I'm still waiting for that to happen because we need to grow. Well, we need to help more people. We've got these member intake forms that are on this website, herbalhealthreview.com, and those member intake forms, well, when you fill that out, then I'm able to answer all your questions. But the member intake form is asking for a donation. And there's 2 ways to donate. One is $195 for a lifetime membership of this broadcast being free, everything on the website being free except my book. Then that's like $18.95, I think, for the book. If you wanted the book, the hard copy, actually it's a digital download. You can get a hard copy if you want one. Let me know if you want a hard copy of my book. But otherwise, it's a digital download for, I think, $15.95. Is that it? For the digital download of the book. That's the only thing you can buy on the website. There's all these common condition reports with links to the products, to the manufacturer, and the manufacturer gives you a discount when you enter in, when you're on their website and you order online. Don't try to call them because there's nobody there to answer the phone. You know, welcome to the pandemic caused by political stupidity, and greed. So I know I tell it the way it is. It's got me in a lot of hot water, oh well. When you're in a lot of hot water, take a bath. But anyway, it's this. You can make that $195 one time as a lifetime membership. When it changes in the future to $195 per year, anybody who gave a $195 donation one time for a lifetime membership, that's forever, because it will change in the future. You know, it can't stay this, nothing stays the same. You know, it just doesn't. Anyway, so the other possibility for those who don't have $195, who would like to support us, a $20 per month donation will give you complete benefits of everything. You get a username and a password to go on the website, and you can then you got your free herbal description course describing herbs and information, and so you can learn all about natural remedies and herbs and herbal remedies. It's free, with common condition reports, the health discussion videos, and all the ways to join this broadcast. That's all part of a donation to keep us going. And it's $20 a month, and for that you get to consultations. You get to fill out a member intake form, and I do a consultation for you and answer all your questions. And then I monitor the results, and I make sure you're getting results. And I have a lot of people I'm helping all at the same time. And it's working. People are getting helped. So that's it. Those are the two, those are the way, that's the way to join and to be a member and support what we're doing. And the other thing, and the other thing you can buy is a book, and that's it. That's the website. It's got all this information on it. It's loaded with information. And whenever you click on the reports and it's talking about, let's talking about respiratory infections. Let's go take a look at it. Let's describe respiratory infections, and we'll show you what we mean. Because there's all kinds of respiratory infections. There's asthma, and asthma is caused by the spasms in the smooth muscles surrounding the bronchi and the bronchioles, the small airways in the lungs. And it's causing the passageways to partially close. That's asthma. It's those smooth muscles surrounding the bronchi and the bronchioles, which are the small airways in the lungs, and it's causing the passageways to partially close. They close up. The spasms, these asthmatic spasms, are accompanied with increased mucus, which clogs the bronchioles and the bronchi and worsens the attack. It's triggered by an allergic response, and the immune system produces histamine. Thus, any type of allergen can precipitate an asthma attack. It results in difficulty breathing, especially exhalation, coughing, wheezing, and a tight chest. This above condition is specifically known as bronchial asthma. There's also cardiac asthma, which is the result of a heart malfunction. And then there's the respiratory system, which, it's what we're talking about here, the respiratory system, which consists of the lungs and a series of associated passageways leading into and out of the lungs. That's it. That's the lung system. That's the respiratory system. It's the lungs and a series of associated passageways leading in and out of them. The upper respiratory system includes the nose, the throat, and associated structures. The lower respiratory system includes the larynx, the trachea, the bronchi, the lungs. The term respiration refers to the overall exchange of gases between the atmosphere, the blood, and cells. There's a gas exchange going on there. Atmosphere, blood, and cells. The cardiovascular system transports the gases in the blood between the lungs and the cells. The functions include to supply oxygen, eliminate carbon dioxide, and help regulate the acid-base balance of the body. Increase nutrition, detoxify, and strengthen the body, then asthma will leave. I'm going to say it again. People who have asthma, you want it to leave? Increase nutrition, detoxify, and strengthen the body, then asthma will leave. Some of the top things that you need to know about is the strongest, gentlest, natural antibiotic on the planet is colloidal silver water that destroys over 650 bacteria, funguses, and viruses. Destroys them. They can't live in the presence of colloidal silver water. The water is rather expensive, $60 a quart. But the good news is you can make it by the gallon for $1.50 if you have a little box that makes it, that never wears out. It's portable. That little box is called a colloidal silver water generator. It generates distilled water and turns it into colloidal silver water, where there are submicroscopic particles of silver carrying a positive charge, electric charge, and they're floating in the water. That's called colloidal. They're in colloidal suspension, carrying an electric charge, hunting for any bacteria any fungus, any virus penetrates the cell, disables the oxygen, the cell dies. And and those cells are magnetized. They are ionic. They are negatively charged cells. Bacteria, fungus, and virus are negatively charged cells that are attracted directly to the positive. So it's just like a magnet. They're negative. The water is positive, and it pulls it right into that water, and that water then penetrates those cells, and those cells die. And it does nothing to the human body. No harm, nothing. It just it can load up. It's a metal, but it's a, now where lead and mercury will kill you, silver won't do anything but load up in your body until you turn blue. And that's no big deal, because if you, and because you don't drink that much, you don't use that much, you would have to abuse the use of colloidal silver water in order to turn blue from drinking it. You'd have to drink it every day for 2 or 3 months. You'd have to load up on it, drinking maybe, 3 quarts of it every day. Yeah, you're going to start. And then you're going to need to know about the herbs that sponge up and pull all that silver or any other heavy metal, lead, mercury, all the things that are poisonous. That's a heavy metal detox. And there's an herbal formula that does that. So I'm never worried about, oh, you're going to get too much silver, you're going to turn blue. So then take the heavy metal detox, chlorella, cilantro, garlic, milk thistle seed extract. These are herbs that will pull heavy metals and toxins. And there's another one too, and it's called NAC. We're going to talk about that in a minute, because that's something that is really incredible that you need to find out about, and it's for the respiratory system. So it's on my list here to give you some information that will be rather astounding to many. Now, colloidal silver water. So you buy this little box, which is about this, almost the same price as a quart of the water. You can buy the box and make gallons and gallons of water. You can make a gallon of colloidal silver water every 40 minutes, worth $240. Every 40 minutes, you can make $240 worth of colloidal silver water that will attach itself to any virus, fungus, or bacteria. It will get rid of any eye infection. You splash it in your eyes. Put it in your ears, it will get rid of any ear infection. Put it in your nose, it'll get rid of a sinus infection. And if you have a respiratory infection, you can put that water into a nebulizer and nebulize it off into the air and breathe it. And within 72 hours, if there is pneumonia, the pneumonia will be gone in 72 hours by breathing the vapors of colloidal silver water. They get into the lungs, they attach themselves to any kind of an infection in the lungs, and it gets rid of the infection, and the infection goes away, clears up. That's one of the most important things you can learn about a respiratory infection is colloidal silver water. Sip on it throughout the day until you don't need it anymore. If you've got a cold flu virus, you sip on it throughout the day. and you feel better, your throat feels better, and you get over your cold or your flu much easier. It's very powerful. So breathing it, vaporizing it, putting in a nebulizer, and put the nebulizer right next to your if you have an office, and you put it on your desk and breathe it all day, put it next to your bedside and breathe it all night, and 72 hours, no more lung infection called pneumonia. Now, herbs like cat's claw. Cat's claw is a natural antibiotic. And you can, and that's excellent for the, which is excellent for the lungs. But when the lungs are struggling with a respiratory infection, you want to, at that point, cleanse and detoxify. There's a liquid called number 1078 liquid. It's a liquid that cleans the bloodstream, cleans up the digestive tract, cleans up the liver, cleans up the bowel, and makes the bowel movement softer, and you're getting rid of all that junk. You're detoxing. And you do that, and it's a 2-week cleanse with this number 1078. However, there are people who have bowel obstructions, or they have constipation. And if there is a bowel obstruction causing constipation, or then you need to find out what that bowel obstruction is. Is it a polyp? Is it a cyst? What is the obstruction, so you can deal with it with natural remedies and whatever is necessary. But if there's constipation and you can't, and you're not having, and what is constipation? Constipation is when you flush the toilet and the bowel movement does not break up in a cloud. That's constipation. Every bowel movement should break up in a cloud. You want to take enough of the CAC liquid, but if there is real constipation and you don't have maybe you don't have a bowel movement every day. Maybe you don't have a bowel movement every 2 or 3 or 4 days. I have people who don't have a bowel movement for a week, which is terrible. I mean, they're just toxifying their body. They're a ticking time bomb. And we need to, you got to keep the sewer system of the body moving, keep it soft, and keep it going through there. So if there is constipation and you are not able to go to the bathroom, then there is a tea called CACT. And you click on the tea and you order the tea. You can order online. I get nothing from the sale of any product. I'm not selling product, but these reports give you a link where you can look at the product. Then it's up to you if you want to buy it or not. I don't get anything from it, but these are products that I actually invented. But the government said you can't do that, so I did. They said you can't. If you sell products anymore, then we will do bad things to you. So I quit. 2010 was the last year I got any money from the 14,000 natural remedies I invented. One of them was that CACT. The other was that number 1078 liquid. So I still know that they're the greatest thing you could possibly use. I just don't get anything for my work. So that's what that is. That's what that's for. It's a good idea to do a cleanse and a detox. So that's a two-week cleanse, either with a tablespoon or 2 of the liquid to keep the bowel movement soft and have a good clean out. Cleans up the bloodstream, the digestive tract, and the liver and the bowel. It's really great. Or if there's constipation, get the CAC liquid, and over a period of time, the constipation will disappear. And the bowel movement it will increase the peristaltic muscle tone. So the bowel will go back to work again. And a lot of people, maybe they were using aloe vera. It's habit forming. But this is not habit forming. The 1078 liquid isn't habit forming, and neither is the CACT for constipation. Neither one is habit forming. Matter of fact, the longer you use the CACT, the less you need it. Pretty soon you don't need it at all, and you say, hey, I used to use a cup or two. Now I don't even want a tablespoon. My bowel movements are working fine. Everything went back to work. That's the way it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to have to go to the doctor forever. You're not supposed to have to need these natural remedies forever. You use them, you don't need them anymore, you're done. There's also a fiber that at the same time that is called number 4837 fiber. And every evening, about 2 hours before bed, you want to take some of this fiber powder, put it into some herbal tea, juice, or water, stir it up and drink it down before it gels. It will turn into a gel. And when it turns into a gel, it's going to slide through the digestive tract and it's going to absorb cholesterol, triglycerides, every bit of junk, heavy metals, toxins, whatever's in that digestive tract is going into that gel. It's going to absorb it. It's even going to absorb the moisture in the digestive tract and pull it all into that gel. And when it hits it's going to hit the liver, it's going to clean up the liver, absorb all the heavy metals, toxins, and debris that's in there. It's going into the bowel. It's going to absorb all the toxins and debris and bad stuff in the bowel. Take all of that out, and you're going to do that for 2 weeks, 2 hours before dinner. And within 20 minutes of doing that, you're going to have another glass of water because there will be no moisture left in your digestive tract. Everything is in that gel and it's on its way out. So you need more water. So after you have your gel, it turns into a gel, drink it before it turns into a gel. Then within 20 minutes, you need a nice big glass of water. And that is how you really clean things up. And that's taking the pressure off the lungs. That's removing toxins and debris. And if you feel that your kidneys are another avenue of elimination of toxins, your kidneys. So, and if you feel like you could use a kidney cleanse, we just showed you a liver blood cleanse, but you can also do a kidney cleanse at the same time. And generally, anything that's going on with the lungs has a whole lot to do with the kidneys. So a kidney cleanse, let's go see what's in a kidney cleanse. We saw what was in a liver cleanse. And this is how you go about removing a lung infection. Because now the next thing that we want to know about is that kidney cleanse. So let's go over here to the website of the manufacturer. The only manufacturer that manufactures these products that I know about, that I don't get anything from. But they're called Health and Herbs. And it's best to email them. They're not able to answer the phone because of the pandemic scenario. But their email address is healthherbs31@gmail.com. And you can always email me. I'll always help you to make sure you get help because the manufacturer is not able to keep up with the telephone calls, but is able to keep up with the orders. But as soon as they start answering the telephone, then the orders stop going out. So we keep them busy doing their job and getting the orders out, and not worrying about the telephone. You just email healthherbs31@gmail.com and email Truman at herbalhealthreview.com. I'll make sure you get whatever it is you need. I'll help. I promised the judge that I would help them to put up with the evil things that the government does. That's fact. The government said, that's exactly what I want you to do. I want you to make sure they're able to keep doing what they're doing. Yeah. That Chief Federal Judge Akins. Yes. Anyway, thank you, Judge, for setting the FDA straight. Although they didn't, they cheated. Yeah, they found out my family had everything, so they weren't allowed to bother me anymore. So they destroyed my family financially. They don't quit. They're evil and they come after you. And they did. So so what we're looking at here now is we need to look at a kidney cleanse kit, because when you clean house, the more you do, the better it works. So there it is. There's a kidney cleanse kit that has cranberry capsules in there, Shazandra berry, number 1246, herbal kidney formulation. So it has things in there that are going to help the kidneys get rid of toxins and pull the pressure off the lungs. We're doing it, we're working on the liver so it can detox. We're working on the kidneys so it can detox. And we're working on the respiratory system so it can also detox. And that's not what I want. What I want here is a respiratory. And there's even a respiratory kit. The respiratory system. I like these kits because you save extra money. So this is a lung respiratory support kit. And what it has in it is is a formula called Breathe Deep, number 1045. And let me just do that. Okay, here we go. Breathe Deep, number 1045. And it has elderberry, elecampane, horehound, marshmallow root, peach bark, peach leaf, and leaf, and it used to be called asthma bronchitis formula, but that's not its name anymore. Now it's number 1045. Breathe Deep. So those are the kinds of herbs that are going to give you that elderberry leaf and the elecampane, the horehound, marshmallow root, peach bark, peach leaf. These are the kinds of herbs that that can help you to breathe. I wonder if that's it. Okay, And it also has Bistort and catnip and lobelia and cayenne. That's the complete formula in a breathe deep formula. Then there's a sinus and lung congestion herbal formula. And there's a number 1048, which is some cleansing drops. And I don't know if I can, there it is, which has blue vervain, cayenne, eucalyptus, horseradish, licorice root, mullein, nettles, spikenard, violet leaf, and wild yam. And that is a lung congestion formulation, number 1048. So it's those three separate formulations give you respiratory and support to get rid of a respiratory infection. Now, and let's look at the 1390 sinus lung congestion. The 1390. Oh man, that's deep into the formulation. All right, 1390 is designed for the sinuses and the lung and lung congestion, having mullein, peppermint, chickweed, lobelia, comfrey leaf, cayenne, and slippery elm bark. So those are the three separate formulas, about 30 drops of each, and any of the liquids all can be combined together in one cup or one glass. So you can either put them separately, directly under the tongue, or you can put them all in one cup and hold it in your mouth and swish it around and swallow it. But let's go on with what we can do when there's a respiratory a problem. Okay, we worked on the respiratory, we worked on the lungs directly. We worked on detoxing the body through the kidneys and the liver and the blood and the bowel. So we have a complete way of getting rid of the infection that we are removing. And there's another respiratory formula if you need more help as an expectorant. And it's formula number 1378 if you need to get it out. And if there's even more congestion problem, you can use a formula 1111, which is a to get rid of the congestion. It has garlic and bayberry, mullein, bloodroot, cayenne, and lobelia. Now, those who know what bloodroot is, they know it's a serious cancer herb. It's a blood cleaner. It's a cancer fighter. And the garlic is a natural antibiotic, infection fighter. The bayberry is an astringent, it dries things up. The mullein is actually a narcotic herb that isn't classified as a narcotic, but it is. Okay, it is a narcotic. Mullein will anesthetize whatever area and help to relieve the pain and the discomfort. So that is a congestion formula 1111 with garlic, bayberry, mullein, bloodroot, cayenne, and lobelia. Vitamin C is so very, very important. And especially if you have any kind of a respiratory infection. You want about 3,000 milligrams every 4 hours because your body can use up 3,000 milligrams every 4 hours. It can use it. and it's gone. So that's why every 4 hours, it'd be a good idea to put 3,000 milligrams in there at least twice a day anyway. Morning and night. 3,000 milligrams of vitamin C. That is a good dose of vitamin C, which is needed for growth and repair of tissues in all parts of the body. It helps, vitamin C helps the body make collagen, an important protein used to make skin, cartilage, tendons, ligaments, blood vessels. Vitamin C is needed for healing wounds and for repairing and maintaining bones and teeth. If there is actual asthma, you'll find a formula called number 1051 asthma formula. It's for acute asthma attacks. It's for use with bronchitis, croup, emphysema. It helps to relieve sinus and lung congestion. It soothes inflamed tissues and allows breathing. And it loosens coughs. And it loosens and helps to get rid of sinus congestion. And let's open it up and open that link in a new tab. Let's take a look at that. I'm looking for it. There it is. So let's look at that lung care formula that's so valuable. And there it is. First herb in there is bloodroot and wild cherry bark, St. John's wort leaf, mullein leaf, slippery elm bark, saw palmetto berry, golden seal root, and lobelia leaf, and a little bit of cayenne to dilate and open up every cell and let all the medicine in. The golden seal is a powerful, natural antibiotic. And one of the most interesting things about golden seal root is it does not disturb your natural probiotics in your digestive tract. Whereas other antibiotics destroy the good guys and the bad guys, the good bacteria and the bad bacteria. The golden seal only destroys the bad bacteria, does not destroy good bacteria, and is a great infection fighter. So that would be one of the main herbs, number 1051, that is a natural antibiotic formulation that would be very, very good for any kind of a respiratory infection. Okay, number 1051. So there's all kinds of herbs here that are directed specifically to sinus and lung congestion. And then whenever you're done taking any series of natural antibiotics or any drug antibiotics, whenever you're done doing that, then always make sure you're taking a good round of acidophilus, probiotics, kimchi. Yogurt is one of the worst examples of trying to get friendly bacteria. You got all the dairy clogging things up while you're creating mucus while you're trying to get rid of it. So I'm not into yogurt. I am into probiotics and capsules. And one of the greatest things you can do when there is a lung infection is increase the immune system. You can increase the immune system the same way mom does just before baby gets mom's milk. Baby gets mom's colostrum, which is all the immune factors and immunizes the baby. It's called colostrum. It's number 2158. It's a very concentrated immune system builder. It's a mammary secretion produced just prior to birth. And it is released into mother's milk right after birth. It contains protective antibodies and many nutrients for a newborn baby. Colostrum helps to protect from infection, from the digestive system, and it helps the stomach to mature and signals the brain centers that function with digestion. So everybody's in harmony. That's what colostrum does. It's an immune system booster. There's also MSM, which is natural sulfur. MSM stands for methyl sulfonyl methane. That's natural sulfur, like the sulfur that's in garlic. And you can get it as a powder. And if you're going to use MSM, you're going to find out that it's going to be anti-aging. It will keep every cell in your body younger longer because it keeps the cell wet, which is called permeable. Every cell is kept wet and young when you're taking MSM. And the dosage is 1 teaspoon of MSM with each meal the first week, 2 teaspoons the second week with each meal, 3 teaspoons the third week with each meal, and you will have beautiful skin, beautiful hair, beautiful fingernails, and you will live longer. And your skin won't wrinkle up when you get old. MSM. That's the secret to it. That's right. On the third week, you're taking 3 teaspoons with each meal, or 1 tablespoon, which is 3 teaspoons with each meal. And that's it. If you stay at that dose, you'll notice that within 3 to 6 months, you'll have the most beautiful skin, hair, fingernails, and you will have a lot more spring in your step. A pineapple drink with super veggie powder or the super green food powder is a super immune system energy tonic. That's what I absolutely have to have for power and stamina and endurance is number 4845 super veggie powder. I invented that about 30 years ago, and it's got all of the super green foods in it, all the nourishment. And if I don't get that, I notice that I do not have, I'm not operating on all 8 cylinders. I mean, I'm sluggish if I don't get my super veggie powder, which you can get it as a powder or you can get it as a liquid. Anyway, it makes the ladies super women and the guys Superman. It does. You can count on it. That's it. A good multiple vitamin like Miracle 2000, which is on that website. And one of the greatest things you'll ever find out about for the lungs is vitamin D3 that's listed in the Make Lifestyle Changes report that has everything all that you take every morning. And sometimes and some things again in the evening, like the vitamin C. But what you're going to find out about right now is one of the greatest things you'll ever find out about, and that's vitamin D3. And there's a particular dosaging schedule that's in the Make Lifestyle Changes diet system that when you do that, you will find out how incredible vitamin D3 is. Because in a separate study, researchers from Belgium revealed data showing that vitamin D deficiency is common among patients with COPD. That's right. Yeah, that's the lungs. It's a pulmonary. So we're talking about COPD, which is an incurable lung disorder. But when given supplements of the vitamin, it may significantly help patients with the breath-robbing disease. It'll help to overcome the COPD when you get a good dose of vitamin D3. The study shows that high doses of vitamin D supplements on top of a standard rehabilitation program improve the outcome in terms of exercise capacity and respiratory muscle strength. According to Meek Hornikix, physiotherapist and doctoral student in the Department of Pneumology at Cathedral Lake University in Leuven, Belgium. Low levels of vitamin D in the blood have been related with muscle weakness, a major target for respiratory rehabilitation and increased risk of falls. People they're falling because they don't have enough vitamin D. Since vitamin D is often depleted in patients with COPD, we wanted to see if vitamin D supplementation would have a beneficial effect on rehabilitation among these patients, perhaps by increasing muscle strength. The research team studied 50 COPD patients with a history of exacerbations who had been referred for rehabilitation and randomly assigned them to receive either a monthly dose of vitamin D or a placebo. Patients receiving the vitamin D were given 100,000 IUs, international units, in a monthly dose, far above the recommended daily allowance of 600 IUs of vitamin D. So it's 600, they got 100,000. All the research subjects participated in a pulmonary rehabilitation program for 3 months, both at the beginning of the rehabilitation and when it concluded. The scientists measured peripheral and respiratory muscle strength, exercise capacity, and vitamin D levels. The results: the patients treated with vitamin D had significant improvement in exercise capacity and respiratory muscle strength compared to those in the placebo group. These results support the idea that correcting vitamin D deficiency and by adding vitamin D supplements to training programs allows COPD patients to achieve better results from rehabilitation, including improvements in muscle strength and exercise capacity. Vitamin B complex will reduce stress. Vitamin A will also help the respiratory system to recover. Grape seed extract is a natural antibiotic for the respiratory tract. Garlic, lots of garlic, and ginger are excellent for all respiratory disorders. Shark cartilage has been used at 740 milligrams for adults. Take one capsule 4 to 6 times daily, preferably with a meal, to increase the immune system with people with respiratory disorders. Flaxseed capsules, 1 or 2 AM and PM, 1,000 milligrams each. That helps to fight the infection and inflammation. Bee pollen tincture. If you've never taken bee pollen before, starting with 1 drop in a glass of water and take a sip. As long as there's no bee pollen adverse reaction with this 1 drop in a glass of water that you took a sip, then the next day, take about 60 drops of that water, 2 to 3 times a day. And you want to work your way up where you're taking as much as a teaspoon of bee pollen tincture, which is the most perfect food on the planet Earth, is bee pollen. It has everything. And it will give you stamina and endurance when you get the dosage up to about a teaspoon 3 times a day. You will have increased stamina and endurance. You'll find that increasing cayenne. You don't need anything stronger than a 40 heat unit, 40,000 heat unit of cayenne. The people, get these cayenne and, jalapenos and Chinese cayenne, 100,000 heat units. It's too hot. It's uncomfortable. So 40,000 we find is a comfortable heat unit range for almost everyone. And especially if you use a teeny tiny bit, then you hardly notice it, and it does open up and dilate all the tissues and lets in the nutrients and lets out the toxins. Cayenne, it's an energizer. Alfalfa is a superfood. You'll find it in the super green food powder and the super green food liquid. You'll find alfalfa and seaweed, Atlantic and Norwegian kelp. One of the greatest healers is wild oregano oil. It is also a great remedy for the flu, is wild oregano oil. You want to take the essential oil, put about 3 drops in a teaspoon to a tablespoon of olive oil. That's the best way to get it down. It'll float in the water, so it doesn't work well in water, but it helps when there's a pneumonia infection in one or both lungs, which is usually caused by bacteria, viruses, and fungi. So the colloidal silver water is great for attacking and getting rid of that. But the next best line of defense is wild oregano essential oil. Kills bacteria, viruses, and fungi. And prior to the discovery of antibiotics, 1/3 of all people who developed pneumonia subsequently died from the infection before there were antibiotics. 1/3 of all people who developed pneumonia subsequently died from the infection. Currently, over 3 million people develop pneumonia each year. Over 500,000 of these people are admitted in a hospital for treatment. Although most of these people recover, approximately 5% will die from pneumonia. Pneumonia is also, pneumonia is known to be the 6th leading cause of death worldwide. They don't know about nebulizing colloidal silver water. They don't know about wild oregano oil. The most common cause of a bacterial pneumonia is Streptococcus pneumoniae. In this form of pneumonia, there is usually an abrupt onset of the illness with shaking, chills, fever, and production of a rust-colored sputum. The infection spreads into the blood in 20 to 30% of cases, and that's known as sepsis. When it spreads to the blood, that's sepsis. And if this occurs, 20 to 30% of these patients die. Once it gets to a sepsis, 20 to 30% of the patients die. Antibiotics often used in the treatment of this type of pneumonia include penicillin, amoxicillin, clavulanic acid, augmentin, macrolide, antibiotics, including erythromycin, erythromycin, clarithromycin. Penicillin was formerly the antibiotic of choice in treating pneumonias, infections, lung infections. With the advent of the widespread of broader spectrum antibiotics, significant drug resistance has developed, which is one of the things I was warning about 60 years ago, is the significant drug resistance which has developed. It made the viruses, funguses, and bacteria stronger. They would use a drug, they being pharmaceutical industry and medical doctors, use a drug, and pretty soon the person is drug resistant. You can't use that drug anymore because they made the bacteria, the fungus, and the virus stronger. They killed some of them, and those they didn't kill got stronger until nothing that they gave people worked. I warned about that 60 years ago. Penicillin may still be effective in treatment of pneumococcal pneumonia, but it should only be used after cultures of the bacteria confirm their sensitivity to this antibiotic. It's been used for centuries in Far Eastern and Middle Eastern cultures to treat respiratory infections. chronic inflammations, urinary tract infections, dysentery, and jaundice. Laboratory studies in which the wild oregano oil was applied directly to foodborne pathogens. It showed that the oregano oil was had strong antibacterial properties. And medicinal oregano has a high mineral content that enhances its therapeutic benefits, including calcium, magnesium, zinc, potassium, copper, boron, manganese, and manganese. Wild oregano oil is considered safe for humans and may be used in conjunction with antibiotics to fight bacterial infection. It is also known as an excellent early defense mechanism when you feel cold or sore throat is coming on, if you have a cold or sore throat coming on. The reason we use bloodroot is it's used in very small doses, mostly as an expectorant. Larger doses tend to be sedative, and excessive dosages of bloodroot can be fatal. You be very careful with bloodroot. You do not use it. More is not better with bloodroot. It's a powerful herb. Externally, bloodroot can be used for eczema and sores and other disorders of the skin. And other indications of bloodroot include syphilis, hemorrhoids, tumors, and cancers. Bloodroot. St. John's wort is used. It's a specific for the nervous system. It benefits neuralgia and coccygeal pains and nerve injuries. And it calms the nervous system to treat insomnia and bedwetting. The hypericins in St. John's wort help to alleviate anxiety and depression, including menopausal depression. It is healing for stomach disorders and gastritis, an expectorant for bronchitis, a diuretic for gout and arthritis. St. John's wort lessens menstrual cramps. Other uses, St. John's wort is an overall tonic for chronic uterine problems and after pains of childbirth. St. John's wort is used for jaundice, diarrhea, catarrh, colic. The oil of St. John's wort extract is healing for burns and wounds and sores and bruises and skin problems and neuralgia and sciatica. Some people are photosensitive to St. John's wort, and if it does cause a photosensitivity to the sun, if you're taking St. John's wort and all of a sudden you're photosensitive to the sun, you can't use St. John's wort. Mullein is a very valuable herb. The reason we're using mullein in these liquid tincture extracts and formulations is the fact that it's a valuable herb for the respiratory disorders, including mullein helps coughs and hoarseness and bronchitis and catarrh and hay fever and whooping cough. It may also be used for catarrh in the gastrointestinal tract and for digestive cramps. Mullein, M-U-L-L-E-I-N. You can use it as a healing poultice. And when the folks were settling the West, going across in covered wagons, they'd reach down and grab a mullein leaf and use it as a diaper for their children, or stuff it down in their shoe for their sore feet. Mullein took away the pain, was soothing to the skin. Mullein is also used for hemorrhage of the bowels. Mullein is used for toothaches and for the glands. And it's used as a fomentation if you have a glandular swelling. And mullein is also used for washing open sores. Saw palmetto is a tissue builder, and it stimulates the appetite and increases the assimilation of the nutrients. It is useful for wasting conditions, and saw palmetto is for underweight problems. People who are underweight could use saw palmetto. It helps to build strength during periods of convalescence. Saw palmetto is a nutritive for the sexual organs and is used in the treatment of the following conditions: inflamed and enlarged prostate. Saw palmetto is used if there's impotence, atrophy of the testes, low libido, female functional infertility, low milk production. It will increase a mother's milk. And if there's dysmenorrhea associated with lack of tone in the reproductive organs, saw palmetto may help. With its affinity for the sexual organs, saw palmetto may also function as an aphrodisiac. It has a soothing and expectorant action on mucous membranes, and it's useful for colds, catarrh, bronchitis, and asthma. Other uses include urinary imbalances, enuresis, and as a sedative to the nervous system. The Native Americans used saw palmetto. They crushed the root for sore breasts. Wild cherry bark is used in these formulations that we mentioned here for the respiratory system because it is best used to use the bark, the wild cherry bark that has been collected in the fall when the prussic acid content is highest. So you collect it in the fall, wild cherry bark. And some herbalists allow the bark to age before using. Its main use, wild cherry bark, is for its sedative action on the respiratory nerves. This works by the prussic acid. The prussic acid, which first increases respiration, then sedates the sensory nerves, which provoke the cough reflex. It is used for coughs, asthma, and other chest diseases. The other system that wild cherry bark works with is the digestive system. It helps to aid digestion and is useful in the treatment of digestive weakness, including ulcers, gastritis, colitis, diarrhea, dysentery, and dyspepsia. The American Indians had numerous uses for this herb, wild cherry bark, to ease the pain of labor, to help with when there's diarrhea, if there was lung problems. They used it as an enema for hemorrhoids, and for dysentery, using the juice of ripe cherries and then fermenting. They fermented them for 1 year. Caution: the leaves of wild cherry bark are considered poisonous. Do not use wild cherry bark leaves. They're considered poisonous. Golden seal, again, one of the greatest natural antibiotics on the planet. And you don't use the leaf, you use the root. The golden yellow root of this plant gives it its name, golden seal root. It has antibiotic properties stronger than many prescription medicines and is able to target unwanted bacteria as well as protozoa and yeasts. It is golden seal root. It is unique in that it does not harm the beneficial bacteria that are necessary in the digestive tract. The alkaloid berberine has the added benefit of increasing blood flow through the spleen, where it also increases immune building activity of the large supply of white blood cells there. By many herbalists, golden seal root is considered one of the most powerful herbs. It is a substitute for quinine. It is one of the most effective remedies for inflamed catarrhal conditions of the mucous membranes. If you got inflamed mucous membranes, golden seal root. It has the ability to heal mucous membranes anywhere in the body. Bronchial tubes, throat, intestines, stomach, anywhere. The indications include for open sores, eczema, ringworm, skin diseases, diphtheria, tonsillitis, and severe throat problems. Sluggish digestion. It's used with skullcap and hops for the spinal nerves. And it would work. And when you're using it for the spinal nerves, you want to know about another substance called pregnenolone, which if taken at the onset of a spinal injury may reverse the spinal injury and there will be none. For the spine, pregnenolone, skullcap, hops, golden seal. It helps with spinal meningitis, pyorrhea, and sore gums. Golden seal root works with sinus difficulties, bladder disorders, lower bowel problems. You can be used as an enema. Golden seal root. It's used for infection, flu, diabetes, constipation, colds, canker sores. Canker sore is a sore inside your mouth. Herpes is on the outside of the mouth. A canker sore is on the inside of the mouth. Psoriasis. Golden seal is used for psoriasis, heart disorders, and gallbladder, and spleen, and pancreas. And caution, if a person has high blood pressure, watch for the highs and the lows. If they occur, then substitute myrrh for golden seal. Myrrh can be substituted for golden seal if there's any kind of a high or low with the high blood pressure or low blood pressure. Berberine stimulates the uterus, and golden seal has berberine. So do not use golden seal during pregnancy unless you're under supervision of a healthcare provider who knows what he's doing. But be cautious, very cautious, as it stimulates the uterus. Cayenne is used in so many of these formulations because cayenne is considered to be, by many, to be the strongest stimulant known. I'll say that again. Surprise, surprise. Cayenne is considered by many to be the strongest stimulant known. That's stronger than coffee. Coffee gives you the jitters. Cayenne does not. Internally, cayenne you can use it as a relaxant to the stomach and colon. And cayenne is a healer for ulcers. A lot of you won't believe that, but it's true. Cayenne stimulates the stomach, but is not irritating to it. Cayenne stimulates the blood and the heart, increasing the strengthening of the pulse. Cayenne is used for colds, sinus, respiratory ailments, congestion, hangover, diabetes, cramps, circulation problems, asthma, rheumatism, kidneys, high blood pressure. Cayenne is used just for all of these things. You use with ginger. Use cayenne with ginger to clean out the bronchial tubes and sinus cavities. Cayenne with ginger cleans out the mucus. As a gargle for sore throats, and as an emergency treatment for shock, for hemorrhage, and for bleeding wounds. Use internally and externally. Externally, use a golden seal and myrrh as a liniment for bruises, and for scalds and burns and sunburns. You want to steep cayenne in apple cider vinegar for 1/2 hour and use for sores and bruises. Cayenne is used in the mouth for pyorrhea. Caution with cayenne: avoid excessive consumption of cayenne because it may cause digestive, liver, or kidney disorders. You don't want excessive cayenne. So lobelia, garlic, bayberry, peppermint, chickweed, these are all herbs that are for respiratory infections. I ran out of time, but I still want to let you know about something that's called NAC. NAC does not appear to have the same respiratory benefits in people with lung scarring or lung infections. It had mixed effects on lung damage in 2 studies, 151 patients with lung scarring disease. And you'd want to know about Vitalzem. Vitalzem will eat up the lung scarring. The scars in the body can be eaten up by an enzyme, a Japanese enzyme. But the NAC has many benefits, which are also increased with vitamin C that help with lung damage. And NAC is commonly used to reduce inflammation and mucus in people with lung disease, such as chronic bronchitis and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, your COPD. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD. It can break down the mucus and replenish the glutathione in the lungs, which reduces airway damage and breathing difficulties. So if you have lung infections or COPD, you want to find out about something called NAC, N-acetyl L-cysteine. That's it. We're come to the top of the hour. We've given out a lot of incredible information, and my telephone number is 503-362-5899. The website is herbalhealthreview.com, herbalhealthreview.com. And let's get over to Prophet Elijah out there in Pike Road, Alabama at the Word of Life Ministry. His telephone number is 868-3881. Let's get over there and get a closing prayer. Then let's open up the microphones and all praise the Most High together. We just talked about how to deal with respiratory infections. Are you there, Prophet Elijah? Hello, Prophet Elijah.
I'm here.
Yes, sir. We have come to the top of the hour. And if you could give us a closing prayer, and then we'll open up the microphones and I'll praise the Most High together. Okay, sir?
Yes, sir. I'm ready.
Okay, ready, set, go.
But the soul that is greatly vexed, which goeth stooping and feeble, and the eyes that fail, and a hungry soul will give thee praise and righteousness, O Most High God. The Most High said that Satan is the sixth antagonist that he has created. He forges our weapons against the Most High God's people, where sin and curse give him legal access. Satan has his purpose to steal, kill, and destroy. Father, you have your purpose, which is to allow us to be buffeted in certain areas of our lives. In our own strength, we are no match for Satan, but with the Most High, nothing is impossible. I decree his grace, favor, loving kindness, and mercy is enough for us, sufficient against any danger, or enables us to bear the trouble, for his strength and power are made perfect, fulfilled, completed, and most effective in our weakness, doubt, fears, insult, hardships, persecution, perplexities, distresses, and infirmity. Father, come and remove the sin and cover us with your robe of righteousness. Take away all congenital heart disease. We praise you even now for the mighty deliverance that is coming for our finances and health, for we walk in total victory over all that has been a distraction and a counterfeit in our lives. So Father, I come to you on behalf of all who are listening and intercede as a prophet. Therefore, I speak to the spirit of Pharmakia, as well as every spirit that would attempt to harass them as a result of any curse. And I declare that you no longer have a right to remain in their life. According to Proverbs 6:30-31, devil, you must restore 7 times in quality and quantity what you have stolen in money, possession, time, physical, mental, emotional, health, career, marriage, children, friends, and family, either directly or indirectly as a result of any form of addiction in their life. Dr. Berst, we did it with the help of the Holy Spirit and the Most High God, who has heard our supplication. This is week 52 of 2021. This has been a most exciting year and time in fellowship with you, learning and receiving treasured value information. This is by no means the end. It is the beginning of a new day. The Most High God shall cause your enemies who rise up against you to be defeated before your very face. They shall come out against you one way and flee before you 7 ways. So Father, I thank you for divine alignment in the spirit for Dr. Truman. I declare that he is vertically and horizontally lined up with your will. The blood of the everlasting covenant covers him. It has made him perfect in every good work. He is standing on the foundation of Christ and laying for himself a good foundation for the future, that he may have an eternal, prosperous life, full of abundant divine health. He would not be pulled to and fro because he is maturing daily in the things of the Most High God. Dr. Truman lives in the Rhema, and it's activating signs, wonders, and miracles around himself on a normal daily basis. Surely goodness and mercy has your back all the days of your life. I decree this is your season. and place a blossom under the divine alignment of the heavenlies. Every prince or ruler operating against your destiny is dethroned. So be it. Peace be still. Were you blessed by discovering the health ministry? If so, tell someone you know who may be blessed also. Bless Dr. Berst and return. Pray about someone into this ministry so Dr. Berst may be able to keep offering this information freely to men. Be also kindly let Dr. Berst know that his time is not used in vain. Show him your appreciation for all that he does, whether it is in word or financial support. A workman is worthy of his hire, which is 2 hours of his time each week. Bless him, and you shall be blessed in return. So be it.
So be it. All praises to the Most High. Thank you so much, Prophet Elijah. And thank you everyone else for joining us and your support. Thank you over there on YouTube and on Zoom and in the dial pad meeting room. And let's go over here and open up the unmute. There we go. Opening all the microphones. All the microphones are open now. All praises to the Most High. Bless you, bless your family.
She always wrote it when she goes down, she always want me to go with her, so I always go down with them. But it just didn't work out this time, which is good. So I said, well, it's so bad down there.
Okay.